2 guilty pleas and at least 2 more on the way. The investigation into Mingo County's courthouse corruption continues.
Tonight in our Waste Watch report, Eyewitness News reporter Kennie tries to add up exactly what the bad behavior down in the coalfields is costing us, and found that the price tag has to be calculated in more than just dollars and cents.
Former Mingo County Circuit Judge Michael Thornsberry's guilty plea actually raises more questions than it answers. The investigation into Mingo County corruption didn't end with Thornsberry, but thus far he is the biggest name to be snared in its net. A small army from the U.S. Attorney's Office, the FBI, and state and local police have all been working on the Mingo County cases. So far, that work has generated a big bill, and the meter is still running.
You've got prosecutor time, you've got investigator time. Ultimately, if they're sentenced to prison, you've got incarceration costs, which are, right now, it's running about $35,000 a year to incarcerate someone in federal prison. So you're easily running up into the hundreds of thousands of dollars.
But even the major costs associated with the federal government's stake in the investigation don't begin to approach the monetary loss the state could be facing. Because of Thornsberry's long tenure on the bench, every ruling he made may have to be looked at to make sure it wasn't tainted by his touch.
And if there's a special judge who has to be appointed, and all of the stuff that goes with that, because it's not just the judge has to have a secretary, a court reporter, there has to be at least a law clerk, maybe even 2 because of the nature of how they're having to look into this, and there may have to be an investigator. All of this is going to cost money. What I just said to you adds up to several $100,000s a year right there. And if this goes on for several years, you can see what we're up against. Now, that's all just projected. The court has to make its mind up. The court has given no indication whatsoever how this is going to go, and we don't even know what cases are going to come in.
How much could this potentially cost the state of West Virginia?
$4 million.
The cost of corruption here in Mingo County has to be measured more than just dollars and cents. Lives were ruined. Businesses were forced to close. Families were ripped apart, all because of wrongdoing at the courthouse.
I believe that things have happened here that, children were basically sold, whether it be for money or political reasons or to have control over a person. I believe that happened. I believe children were bought and sold here.
Della Klein Gentile has been practicing law in her home county for decades, but in 2008, she says she was forced to close her doors and sell her downtown Williamson building because of the toxic atmosphere surrounding the courthouse, which was under the thumb of Thornsberry and his minions.
It became very difficult to make a living here as an attorney if you were an honest attorney and you weren't included in that circle of people, and I certainly was not. It became very difficult to practice law.
The biggest problem surrounding the Mingo County shenanigans may not be the money it will ultimately cost us. It is the broken trust in a system that failed on many levels. A corrupt courthouse where justice wasn't handed out blindly. Instead, it was bought with cash, favors, and political paybacks, benefiting those on the inside while punishing everyone else.
We have it all. We have drugs, we have bribery. I think we had just about everything. And people say, oh, well, it's somebody should make a movie. It would almost be unbelievable to make a movie about the things that have gone on down here. I know of money changing hands. I know of deals taking place behind closed doors.
People need to have faith in their governments. They need to know that things are being taken care of. That is the very foundation of our democracy, right? Government of the people, for the people, by the people. And when someone corrupts that process in any way, there are enormous social costs.
Despite the damage that's been done, there is hope for Mingo County. Once the rat's nest at the courthouse is finally cleaned out, there is an opportunity to elect new judges and commissioners who will serve the people instead of themselves. But for that to happen, Mingo County voters must abandon the practices of the past and look to a future without special favors, crooked slates, and justice with strings attached.
I think it'll take a generation or 2 to get people really to believe in it in Mingo, because we're talking about not only laws that were broken and obviously rules of court that were broken, but we're talking about moral boundaries that were shattered. We're talking about the day-to-day lives of people being just destroyed for little more than somebody's most base desire.
We are moving in the right direction, and that's wonderful, but the mess that is left here is tremendous. I mean, it is going to be it's going to be a huge undertaking to try to clean this up.
With this Waste Watch report in Mingo County, Kenny Bass, Eyewitness News.
Now, it may be years until the final price tag is actually tallied. However, Canterbury says the current situation could mirror what happened with Fred Zane. You may remember he was a former state police chemist whose work was eventually discredited, resulting in the dismissal of charges and overturned verdicts in a number of cases. Because of Zane, West Virginia paid nearly $7 million to settle lawsuits from people whom he helped wrongfully convict. Canterbury says it's very possible costs associated with the former Judge Thornsberry's rulings could also reach 7 figures. And now we want to know what you think. How do you feel about footing the bill to clean up all of the corruption down in Mingo? Tell us what you think. Stop by our Facebook page and join in on the conversation. And if you would like to submit a story to Waste Watch or see more waste that we've uncovered, just log on to WCHSTV.com, or you can call our tip line at that number there, 304-346-1147.